Hi, my name is Megghan Michael, and this is Kiss and Tell podcast. Now, as a single girl in the Caribbean, I need to put a ring on this finger. Kiss and Tell podcast is not about perfect relationships, but perfect partnership. I hope you enjoy this next episode. Take a listen.
Kiss and tell your secret's safe with me. Kiss and tell love, but done properly.
Welcome to Kiss and Tell podcast. This one for me hits a little bit home because this next guest, well, the female in this podcast, I've known from the time I was like 4 years old. We went to school together, and then we went to school primary, but still in secondary school, we dancing together. We back at school at BCC, UV still at school, and then after that, So I've known her for such a long time. And speaking about love and relationships, in this case with friendships is a really good topic because you got to see how this friend grows in all different types of relationships to where she is now. So introducing to you Danice and Khai, because that's how I know her.
Gotta get it right.
Danice, Lashley. Oh my God, that sounds so cringy. Danice and Khai, Lashley.
Yes.
Welcome to Kiss and Tell.
Thank you
It's
for
great to
having
be
us.
here.
Thank you so much for being here. Y'all look so glowy. How are you feeling today?
Feeling good. Feeling great for sure.
Okay.
Excited.
Have you seen any of the episodes from Kiss and Tell yet?
Yeah, we watched one on our way here.
Really? Which one?
Lee and
Lee and
the two
Lisa.
L's.
Lee and Lisa.
Yes.
What was your takeaway from that? Like, what stood out to you the most?
I absolutely loved how assertive he was in telling her, you're going to stay home. Like, I love that because
Yeah.
it was not from a controlling place. It was from leadership.
Correct.
Yeah.
So, and that's what's needed, especially with a woman with a strong dynamic. So, yeah, I love that part of it.
100%. Same thing.
Same thing. Okay, so I told you from the beginning that I know Danice for such a long time. And if I could give you a quick rundown of the person that Danice is, I could not plait my hair. My mother could not plait my hair when I was at primary school. So Danice would say, come in the bathroom, and she would plait the front of my hair. And she was doing hair from primary school, secondary school. Her, I would go by her house and over on a weekend, and she would do my hair sometimes. And now Danice has a business in here. I mean, what you study at BCC, it was law,
and accounting.
right? But you were still doing hair.
Yeah.
And then, you continue on, and I said, listen, put on my foot and start this business, and you kept going with it. And this is part of you from the time you were a child.
As far back as Barbies.
As far back as Barbies.
Yeah.
Khai, how I know you is through your brother.
Oh,
Shay, because he was a photographer.
right, yeah.
So, I watched from afar how you build up, what it means to have financial wellness. And your friend that went to foundation as well, I can't remember his name. Akeem, two of you guys, you could see the brotherhood and the importance of friendship there as well.
Yeah.
And how y'all grow from like young 20s to now building a business and working together.
Yeah.
And it really complimented Danice a lot.
Yeah.
So yes. So I have a little understanding of how y'all met from before.
Right.
But I need our audience to know, how did you met and how did the relationship grow?
Who goes first?
Yeah, I
Yes,
think
we got two
you could
stories.
you could go ahead.
So we met in a financial setting for sure. He is an international trader now. But back then, smaller to an extent, a smaller space. And I was one of the forerunners in the space, so to speak. But I did not know him. It was through Akeem, who you mentioned. So I came to the headquarters at the time. And when he came into the room, I was like, who is this arrogant person? If my eyes could be stuck at the back of my head, I rolled my eyes so hard.
This is literally what Shanoa said about her husband.
I literally rolled my eyes so hard. And then I needed assistance with something, and somebody gave me his number. And so I sent the message to the number. which I felt as though I should have because he is the leader of the organization. So I sent the number and I realized that he read it because the ticks were blue, but he did not respond. So the next week I went to the headquarters and I saw him. So I sat right in front of him and I said, excuse me, when I message you, you need to respond.
Period.
So he looked up like,
Who she think she is?
who is this? I was like, pardon? So he said, what's your number? So, because he didn't have it saved. So he scrolled up. So when I was looking, so when he scrolled and I saw the number, I said, that's my number. So he saved it at the time. And from then, he started to stalk me.
Oh.
Yeah, this is my story.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is your story.
My
Second
story.
story.
Yeah.
Yeah, we go
So,
different.
You know, like on Instagram Reels and WhatsApp stories and stuff.
He's the first to
Very
view it.
first view.
I know that.
All times. First view. Khai Lashley. And I'm like, okay, so coming on to the end of the year was Christmas. I'm a hairstylist, busy, long hours. And it was very, very late and I was going to bed. So he sent me a message earlier in the day and I responded. And I'm like, I responded to the message and then I said, I'm going to bed. He said, you got big people up waiting to talk to you. I said, well, keep me up then.
Period. Big bravado. Big egos.
From then, we're here. We're
I need your side, Kai. Let me hear your side.
Yeah, I think it was, first off, let me say this. I think what was very interesting is that she knew a lot of individuals around me.
Yep.
And I never met her. So like, she knew my brother.
Okay.
Did photo shoot. All that
Yeah,
stuff
we
with my
done stuff
brother.
with him before.
You know, she knew Akeem, all that kind of stuff. But anyway, I would say that she met me before I met her.
So she was stalking you.
Something going on, right? Because I don't remember that aspect. I don't remember that story,
Okay.
right? You know, I don't remember that. You know, she telling me to message her, et cetera, et cetera. You know, here's what I remember. This is what stood out to me.
Okay.
Right? Danice came into our office at the time, right? Like she mentioned, it was, you know, a leader in the organization and so forth. She sat right next to me in the mix of everybody, you know, loud, right?
It was not loud.
And said to me, "You having a bad hair day?" It's like,
Oh, wow.
Not loud.
Damn, you bold.
So I know, like, who are you? like, who are you? You know? So immediately I was at, from that point, she got my attention because it was like, all right, this person very, very confident, right? I have no idea who you are, all right? But you, because in my mind, I was like, the disrespect, you know what I mean? Like, you're trying to embarrass me, right? Because it was very, like, I am sure that other individuals in our room heard that, right? So, I mean, who knows? I could have been having a bad hair day. You know, I had more hair, you know what I mean? And this was like the end of the day.
Yeah.
It was like evening. So that is, from that point, I think that's where, you know, she caught my attention. I ain't gonna lie. You know, she got my attention at that point. And what was interesting is that I was not a fan of like short hair, you know, or anything of the sort.
As in females having short hair?
Yeah.
Why?
I was not fan of it.
Because she had it. Oh, that's what you had short natural hair then?
Literally.
And what was so interesting is that she had short, blonde, natural hair at the time. So
And that wasn't your type.
that was not my
I
type.
said that ain't you though. But okay, go ahead.
It wasn't my type, you know. So like yes, you don't see it. She got locks and hair long and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Danice always had different hairstyles, by the way. It was never one thing.
So I saw the potential, you know what I mean? When I scratched, I said, all right, cool, all right, you know. When I saw the
Crazy.
I saw different things, and I was like, all right, cool, you know. But I was not a fan of short hair, you know. But she got my attention for sure at that point. Right, so that was my introduction to
Danice.
you know.
Okay.
So then the stalking started after that.
I ain't sure about the stalking.
He
you know.
was
I
just waiting for you to
I was
change
just-
the hair. That's all he keep looking to see on the DMs. Okay,
I was just
change
paying
the hair.
attention, you know what I mean? I was just paying attention, you know, because obviously I did not know her, so I was just paying attention. Let me see who she is, right? And I think at the time I was very, very single in terms of like I was about money. You know what I mean? Like taught me about finance, taught me about money. That's what it was about. You know, so I think at the time I remember like praying, telling God, like, you know, like if I'm to get into a relationship, let that lady have something going on for herself.
Okay.
You know, like this kind of like the criterias and stuff. You know,
So you had a
her have-
checklist.
Yeah, I was like, let her have something going on. You know what I mean? I don't want somebody that, you know, you don't got nothing happening. You know what I mean? And you're just here to take, you know, and that's what I love about Danice as well, is that she was more about what she could give rather than what it is that she could get. You know, so that really stood out for me.
That's good. I know Danice. I will be speaking in this podcast with history of Danice.
Sure.
And she has a history of being in long relationships. She's the girlfriend type.
Right.
Which means that she probably gave you an ultimatum from the very beginning. I am not sure. I am guessing. What was it that you said, okay, let's lock it down, let's get married? I know you were in a relationship for a while. Who said, let's go to the next level first, and how did that go?
That's an interesting question. I mean, I think that was all me. All right. I think that was all me. There was no ultimatums.
Absolutely not.
Okay, that's good.
There were no ultimatums. But I think Danice, like I just said, you know, for me, like, we're just watching her and being with her, it was more from a place of she was the individual that was here to give, to serve. How can I add, you know, to you? How can I, you know, serve and so forth? You know, like that's what Danice was all about. You know, very giving, you know, like always there, always present. And like obviously I did some tests, you know. She would talk her
Can you share? I need to know.
this one was, you know, because from young, there was one thing my mom told me is you gotta test women. You know, yeah, you gotta test them. You know,
Okay.
you gotta test them. So.
I need to hear a test, so I know I'm being tested already.
Yeah, no. So I think when she told me that, from the time she met me, I remember coming in like the office and stuff with I had a bike, had like an MCM bike or something back then. All right,
As in hosting
like
events.
this color.
No, in the headquarters, he will always have a luxury bike.
Oh, luxury bag. Okay.
So, you know, like I said, I was very what to say? I was very mindful of I was doing pretty well, you know, so you know individuals could just attach themselves for what it is that they could get. Right? And not, you know, not being genuine. Right. So I wanted to test her in that area, you know, to see, because the truth is, you know, you only know certain things after time, you know, and I wasn't trying to wait that kind of time. So it was like, let me test, you know, I want to know, you know, I want to know, like, are you genuine individual or not, you know? So, I think I was at your home.
I think, yeah.
I was at your home, and I was joking initially, to be quite honest, you know, but I accused her that like that was one of the reasons that she paid attention to me, you know, because
of the bike?
The bike was this color, you know. I just went down this road, or I was just playing, you know.
Okay, this is the thing.
Yeah, I was like, you know, she likes these browns and natural colors and that kind of stuff. So I was like, all right, you know, I said, oh, so that's what get you attention. You know, you're telling me about, you know, all these different things, but it was this. You see what is that you could get.
I know Danice putting you in place.
She was a little, you know, like take a body. Like,
No, Bernie. Right?
She was taking about it. What are you talking about? You know, so I just press harder with it. And when I test, you know, I go into the extreme. So I get up to leave the house. I take up my bike, put on my shoes.
What?
And I take up my keys to left the house. You know?
Surely.
So, because I look at to see the response, but I was also recording on my phone just as I look back up.
It was extreme. It was extreme.
I have to have some safety measures, you know, in case it goes away left. In case it went left, right? So I went to the extreme. I was about to leave and go through the door. Danice came in front of the door, pulling the door, locked the door, and stand in front of the door, tell me that I ain't leaving here.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So I was like, okay, all right, okay. You know, and tears starting to come out. I said, okay, so
angry.
I said, yeah, she for real, right? She for real.
Type that just bring up drama for no reason.
I was so angry for so many different reasons. Because obviously I don't know it's a test. One, you accuse me of being materialistic. Now you're angry on another level from jump. And then like you're gonna leave and you're even listening to that's not true.
Yeah.
So it's like you're not leaving with the wrong perspective. Even if when you finally listen and then you leave, fine. But you're gonna leave knowing Like, you gotta be mad. What? But when he realized that my emotions were going
Through the
a little
roof.
left, and he was like, "I'm joking." I was like, "You ain't joking. You ain't laughing." And then he showed me that he was recording on his phone. I was like,
That's wild.
"Sir,
Tears are already
Sir.
flowing.
that was a crazy night.
Yeah, you
That was so crazy."
So that was like party,
Okay. So I need to figure out we are here. You're talking about testing her and figuring out materialistic things, and all that is going through my head is Danice's father, who used to come up to the school every single evening, morning,
All right.
afternoon, and check on Danice every single time. Like, her father is the most hands-on father I've ever seen in my life.
100%. 100%.
Right. So how do you meet that expectation in the dating phase, not even marriage yet, because he is one of those dads that daddy's girl can never do wrong, and whoever is coming after that needs to be up there. How do you handle that?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So that one make me think.
I can remember something that Kai said early on, because if you're in my life for more than 10 minutes, you're going to know of my dad. Without me talking about
Not
it.
even 10 minutes,
he's
girl.
going to call somewhere in that 10 minutes.
Yes.
So early on, Kai realized that. And a day I think we went on a date or something. And he said, in the most respectful way, "I am not your father."
Ooh.
And immediately I took it as endearing, not negatively, in that I am still going to be all the characteristics that you are falling for, that I am falling for. He's still going to be all of those things. But the level that your father is, please do not expect that of me. And to be quite honest, I did not. Because my father,
He's hardcore.
fathers.
Hardcore.
I would not put that on anybody. But why I was glad that he was confident enough to say that is because he realized that I saw the value that he was bringing, but it would be crazy for me to expect more, because then he would have to start performing, and I didn't want that. But he, being kind, like, most self-aware person that I know, he was aware enough to say, "Okay, this is what I'm bringing, and it's gonna be amazing, but I'm not gonna perform to be on the level of your dad." So I'm blessed to have my dad to do all those extra stuff, and my husband is amazing. So there was never a competition or me wanting something that only my dad could do and that kind of stuff. So I respected him from jump for seeing that early on.
That's good communication.
Sure.
Internally, though, she said and she accepted that. But as a man,
Yeah.
did you see initial interaction with her dad and seeing, okay, wait, I can't play? Did you immediately think that you had to step up to the expectations?
Yes and no. Let me say this, because like Danny said, not from an arrogant place or anything like that, but I know the value that I bring and brought to her life. So when I saw her father and her interaction with her father, I saw two things. One, this man would always speak life into her.
Yes.
Right? So
And her friends and anybody around.
absolutely. Right? Well, specifically her father, I say, I paid attention to that for sure. Right. And that's something for sure, that it will also do with Danice. So, to me, I'd be looking at the relationship and be like, okay, so probably this is something too as well that, she would value, significantly, because all her life, that's what her dad did, and also on the other end, I also saw that she would get whatever it is that she want from her father.
She sure did.
So I paid attention to that as well. And that, I think from that premise is where I told her, I'm not your dad. Right, because I'm not going to just give you whatever it is that you want. It's going to be conversation. It's going to be some correction that may occur and so forth. Right, I may not bow down to your beck and call, but I am definitely here to meet your needs. To lift you up. To shine that spotlight on you. All right, as a woman, as my wife, etc. So Yeah, I think that's from that place is where, you saw the value of it. Wasn't an intimidation, but it was more of, I could take some things from him for sure.
And that's good. I feel like usually men get a little bit intimidated when they see that expectation is high, but because you have your own moral standing, you
Yeah.
clearly communicated
Yeah.
what you bring to the table. And I think that's a really good thing, because then she knows where to compartmentalize certain things. That's good.
Yeah.
You guys are huge on the financial wellness scene. I think it was either before COVID or during COVID, y'all really push people to understand what it means to take your business or your life to the next level financially.
So
And you both did it in partnership. Why is it so important to have financial wellness as a couple and then separately as business owners?
So as a couple, this is actually now one of my favorite topics ever, because similarly to what we were talking about pre-interview, having financial wellness as a couple was the farthest thing from my mind. How I grew up, was, I know my dad is phenomenal, but I grew up with my mom. And not just my mom, my grandmother, my aunties, a house full of cousins, a house full of women who were all independent, who were all doing well for themselves, forward thinking. That was the environment that I grew up in. So marriage was not on my radar at all. It was, I am going to build my business. I'm going to continue to do extremely well. At one point in time, I was literally contemplating artificial insemination. Yes, girl, because in my mind, I was like, I don't need a man.
That's not true. She always had a boyfriend.
No, but I mean, like, to build my family.
Okay,
I don't need. So it's like, the boyfriend, cool. But if you go, you go. I'm going to have children.
Yeah.
And the children are going to be fine. I don't need a man to do that. Like, in my mind, I don't need a man to do that. So it's like, and then, I mean, it's technology. You can afford it. You get a child. So that's literally at one point in time, I was thinking like that. And then when I met Khai and we were on the same pace in terms of business, focus, do better, all the things, taking the mindset that I had for my entire life, because when we got married, I was 28. So for 28 years of exposure, of listening to my mom, listening to women that are single and they have wealth and that kind of stuff, it was like, okay, I have to be this way, or I was raised this way for 28 years. We get married today and boom, I'm a wife. And now we have to think about us. Pardon?
That's a huge shift.
It is a huge shift. And then not just that, going into the marriage, I already had my business. So now how does this business become our business? It took me so long for me to say that the salon is ours.
This salon is ours? How? No,
that sounds like a single response.
Exactly. So that's why it gets me excited to talk about this now,
Yes.
because ours is like, pardon? Like, I do this alone with my whole body. My whole body does this thing. So now how is this ours? How is this financial thing and us thing? Is like, I'm going to stay here, you will stay there, and we're going to figure it out. But like you mentioned, in COVID, the salon closed for 13 weeks.
Wow.
It was only supposed to close for 2 weeks. It closed for 13 weeks. And as now I was always big on saving and all of that. But what I realized at the time, this is obviously as years rolled on, I started to piece together in conversations how we really saw each other. So it's like, okay, I know that you can handle yourself, but your lifestyle might not be what you're accustomed to. And during that time, it became like I pondered for hours, like almost days, like, how can I possibly ask this man for help? I would choke first. I would count sand. Like, what
This is during COVID time, right?
Yeah, during COVID. And then, so we had the conversation. It's like, you could have been asked me that. So I was like, all right, cool. All right, cool. So we back on track. Everything is going well. And then that was 2021. Yeah, was it? No, that was 2020. So in 2021, again, strong, independent girl. The salons opened back. I worked every last hour, every last minute that I can think about, because in my mind, I have to get myself back in order. So then the agitation came, like I need to expand, I need to move, that kind of stuff. And the salon opened in COVID. People thought that we were crazy, like you're gonna open a brick and mortar store in COVID. And when I brought the idea to Khai, he was like, yeah, let's go for it or whatever. And in that time, again, we were just boyfriend and girlfriend, not engaged, not married, not nothing. And when the salon opened in July of 2021, and Khai literally, as my boyfriend, footed about probably about 70% of the entire investment into the salon to open the salon. So there were no loans. He was like, we're not taking out a loan, nothing. When I got
As your boyfriend?
As my boyfriend.
We got to talk about that. Don't forget. Don't forget.
Engaged, we're not talking about marriage, nothing. So I went to the bank. The bank declined it for whatever reason. I'm like, that's the Lord. Danice, I'm going to work and I'm going to open this cash. That's not a problem. Khai was like, okay, this is what we're going to do. And I said, okay. Because one of the things that I looked for in somebody that I would potentially marry is leadership. Because I can 100% tell myself what to do. And I can tell you and you. I can tell, if you want me to plan your life, I can do that. So to find somebody that can, in the most respectful way, say, sit down and listen. And I actually listen. Yeah, you can marry me. I'll marry you. Yeah. So, and it's not that. It was so, that instance really showed the leadership and the heart to see us do better. So from that moment, that's how I can answer the question that the salon is ours. Because going forward, it's still Danice doing the hair, Danice doing the hiring, the training.
He has invested as
that
well.
you see. And then the investment didn't just stop at $1 amount. It is still, now that we're in a relationship, and this is one of the things that we get passionate about to talk to married couples, we have this thing called financial intimacy.
Ooh, yeah, tell me more.
I can talk more about that element of it, but with the financial intimacy, every single month, there is a replay of, sit down, this is what we're doing. For the next 2 hours, this is what we're going to do. And I cannot remember.
Sometimes kicking and screaming.
Literally.
Really?
From my end. Because I'm like, I could figure this out myself. I'm fine. We have a spreadsheet, and it literally dates back to the same year we got married up to last month. Every single month for the last almost 3.5 years.
What?
We would every single month. I would bring out the Excel sheets on the laptop. Sit down.
I didn't know if I could run an Excel sheet with a man.
No, I don't do the Excel sheet. He does the Excel sheet.
Okay.
And in that time, that's where we do our financial intimacy exercise. And it has been the most amazing tool for somebody that finds it difficult to go from strong, independent woman to wife. Because
wait, when you said that, we need to be clear.
Yeah.
Strong, independent woman to wife.
To wife meaning us.
Okay.
Strong, independent
that might be
woman,
taken a little offensive.
True. So I was strong, independent woman. I still am, but now with consideration of my husband.
Because the question can be asked, you can be both.
So I am now.
Okay.
But I had to, realize where the strong, independent woman came from. And in retrospect, a lot of the strong, independent woman in me, I'm talking about me specifically, came from fear. It came from fear because I saw my mom.
Scarcity mindset.
Exactly. I saw my mom be single after being in a relationship for a long time. I saw a lot of women that were married. This is before I was married, you know, submissive, all the things that they should be. And then for whatever reason, now they don't have the autonomy anymore because they're divorced and different things like that. So I am still a strong, independent woman minus the fear. And taking away the fear of he's going to leave me and leave me in squalor allowed me to grow closer to my husband. And that's how it became easier to say us. It was hard to say us because of the fear. Because if I go into the us, you're vulnerable.
Yeah.
From the time I accept us, I'm vulnerable. My walls are down. Because us means I am giving you authority to do whatever you want. Now, hopefully, because we keep God in the center, that's not a fear for sure. But hopefully you don't do what you want in the worst way with me and then leave me a squatter, because that's a fear that I did have, because that's what I saw. So strong, independent woman is still endearing. It's still an endearment to be a strong, independent woman, because I still am. But I know when I get home, I can say I don't know. Because he's gonna find the answer.
You got somebody to lean on.
Absolutely. And if I did not release that, I would still be in a marriage single mentally, because I can do this by myself. But you're married,
Yeah.
you know? So it's a lot.
Good, Danice. You kind of changed my mind. For the only salon.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back to Khai now.
Sure.
I forget. She said you invested 70 to 75% in her business, and you're just the boyfriend.
Yeah, risky, right?
Very risky. The men nowadays don't even want to buy a little shafat, and you giving 70% to this business. Do you advise that if you were to do it all over again, would you do that? And how important it is to invest in somebody that you're serious in?
So if I would do that,
Yeah.
of course, 100 times over. You know, like that was a no-brainer for me, because again, I saw who Danice was, right? And then, you know, I know what it was, you know, going forward. I know, okay, this is going to be something serious, you know, so I was not going to put my money, you know, where I was not sure in terms of like this relationship. So I was sure about the relationship, right? And also, you know, like the Bible says, where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. So
Repeat that one more time. Tell them.
where your treasure is, there your heart will be also.
Yeah.
You know, so it was from a place of, you know, like I treasured Danice for sure. All right. You know, like my heart is there for sure. You know, so my money there's no issue with putting my money there. All right. Money was not something that I worshiped. You know, I value the relationship more than my money. All right. You know, so I mean, for the average person, I would not advise doing that. You know, you better be serious. You know, you better know for sure, you know, this individual, right? And I knew that Danice was, like I said, from the jump, she was not here for what she could get. You know, so that was never a thought of mine, you know.
And after that long test that you put you through, Korean,
Right.
at least they could get you 70%.
That was actually very, very early in the relationship at that time, you know. But yeah, at that point, you know, I was very sure about it. You know, I know Danice's heart, you know, and that's what for sure like secured my that risk, for lack of a better term.
I would say investment.
Yeah, that investment for sure. And it definitely, you know, has done, you know, wonders over the years for sure.
I like the whole idea of financial intimacy.
Yeah.
Can both of you expand? Not too long, but what does that look like for persons listening that are willing to take their new relationships to another level, or are afraid to talk about finances together? What is financial intimacy, and how can you benefit from it?
Right. So financial intimacy, you know, this is where, you know, the couples take, you know, their money, their finance, of course, and know everything is intertwined. Okay. The good thing about it, or the advantages of it rather, is, you know, get to rise together, right? Or fall together, right? There was a time in our relationship, as soon as we got married, literally as soon as we got married, on the build up actually.
Yeah.
All right. So like getting engaged, etc. In that season, I lost all my income.
Really?
Yeah, income was down to the floor, like down, down, down to the floor. All right. So it was bad for me at that point, as opposed to what I was accustomed to. So we got married, and there was this, Danice is independent, and I felt as though there was a time where I felt as though I was asking Danice for money. Now, as a man, you could feel
the role split.
yeah, of
No,
course, yeah.
okay.
As a man, you could feel, like asking, my wife for money and so forth, and like I felt as though like there could be a much better way for us to do this, right? So especially in that time, it was where we brought together all of our finances, right? So how it would look, or how it looks now, is whatever I earned for the month, whatever Danice earns for the month, we pull that together, all right? So that takes care of everything, all right?
So like a joint account.
Correct. But the thing is that we also pay one another out of it. So let's just say, for example,
Okay.
just example, for easy numbers, let's just, for example, total, it was about $10,000 or so that was made for the month, right? Everything paid, regardless of what's going on, 20% goes to Danice, 20% goes to me.
And then that goes into separate accounts after the joint account.
Correct. So you still have a sense of
Okay.
autonomy.
So your marriage is a company, and the marriage pays you.
Absolutely.
So
That
you-
is
you
very
have that sense
interesting.
of autonomy. You could do Danice could go and buy whatever she wants, splurge, whatever she want, take trips, whatever.
So,
she could
wait.
spend that. Talk to me.
Who who determines the percentage that comes out of that marriage account?
Right. So so we determine that, right? So
Based
first
on
off,
what?
based
Merit?
on the income,
Okay.
right? So based on the income, okay, what would you need to survive on? Like what you could live on comfortably, right? On a month-to-month basis.
And that would be the spreadsheet that will have your monthly expenses. So say the monthly expensive is $5,000. You would make sure you cover the $5,000 and add an additional to that.
Correct.
As the payment from the marriage.
No, yes and no. Yes, no in that all of our bills are intertwined.
Okay.
Including her self-care. Like that's standard, like that gotta be a part of the expenses.
Okay.
So then anything else, literally anything else. So that 20%, for example, will go towards whatever she wants. That's no bills. Bills are already covered.
So that's covered.
Everything.
So you could
This
give
is
away
very
that money.
technical. I didn't know if people can handle this.
Yeah, no,
This is adulting.
it's just
Adulting.
This is
It's
very-
only, I would say that it is only technical at first, because at the end of each month, it is not technical. It is just being forthcoming with information. So at the end of the month, Michael sits down with the Excel sheet. I have to be honest. He has to be honest and say, from this stream and this stream and this stream, this is what I earned. And then these are the expenses or whatever. So I have expenses that he would have would be running his company. I would have staff expenses. So then we're honest with our income. We're honest with the expenses that we will not know about, because God forbid I say, I paid my staff $20,000 and it was only like $500.
Right. That's
So-
what you're trying to figure out.
Right. So we are honest with those things. Then once all of those numbers go in, all of our bills, and like he mentioned, self-care, my hair, my nails, all that is a bill. Like the water and light, his haircut that's a part of the line item. My nails, my lashes, my hair, that's a line item. So all of that has to be covered. Now, once that is covered and we follow the split that we have, everybody gets an equal split, and you have autonomy to do whatever you want with the split. So if I take all of it,
I save it.
I buy a bag, all of it, and save it. The most important part is that the household is taken care of, and we both have autonomy for the next 30 days until we
And you do that every month.
every month.
Okay, so how does financial intimacy enrich or fulfill you or have longevity to a relationship? Like, what is the bonus of having financial intimacy?
Yeah. Most marriages break up because of money. All right. And that's one of the biggest topics, is finance. All right. And because individuals sometimes feel as though maybe like I am holding you in terms of what it is that you're spending, what it is that you're doing with your money and so forth, or somebody's always checking up behind someone, with their spending. All right. And then, it's always this, like I mentioned, this one person up, next person down. Right. So for example, if Danice had to lose her income and I was doing really well, this one person continues living a particular lifestyle, the other person got to drop their lifestyle. As opposed to you take everything, you intertwine it, right? You get intimate with it. So regardless to what happens, if I go on or Danice go on and does significantly well this month, then I see the benefits of that as well.
For you, okay.
If I do the same, she see the benefits of that as well.
And then that also emboldens you both of you to push each other every single month.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
Race together. Yeah.
Because my favorite part of the Excel sheet is the end when we talk about splits.
The totals too.
Yeah, well, the total that's fine. That's numbers.
You want to know what you're getting.
I just want to know the split at the end of the month. Like,
That's kind of exciting.
Like, I want to know my split because then ultimately, so we have financial intimacy as a couple, and then we have financial intimacy as an individual because how we do our financial intimacy, it still allows for us to be individuals. So in my split, when I get my personal split, I have financial intimacy with myself because now I know, okay, this is what I want to save. This is what I want to tithe. This is what I want to give. And I don't have to answer to anybody. He doesn't have to answer to anybody because the marriage has been taken care of financially. So the autonomy of it all is exciting for sure.
I really love this topic. I did not expect to talk about this, by the way. I didn't know that this was coming.
Yeah.
And I really love it. And I hope that you guys share this or do a workshop for couples coming up because it is, even for single people, because now I kind of consider sharing a bank account with somebody, whatever. It sounds interesting now. So maybe I could do it.
Yeah, when you're single, you gotta... be mindful of that one. That one alone.
No. I do not single.
Okay.
I mean, when I go into a marriage.
Oh,
yeah.
You got to.
Can I flip the switch a little bit?
Sure.
I know that you have a very faith-based relationship. God is at the center of everything.
Absolutely.
And y'all both individually had faith-based lives before.
Right.
How did God brought you closer to each other? One question. And second question is there anything that, it was really hard to get through, but not only with God, but with each other, you were able to come out of it?
Yeah. Tell me the first question again.
The first question is how you come
God
together.
brought us together.
Yeah.
Closer. Want to take that?
Sure. I think one of the first things, or the first test in our marriage was that financial test. And especially for me at that point, well, that is too, of course, having to really, really, really seek God in that time that as soon as we got married, everything went up in terms of expenses, but income went down significantly. I went from a place of, I was building everything, doing everything, and then kind of bringing in God on the back end, to having to really seek God first so that he builds out everything else. It's much, it just made more sense as well, just from a foundation perspective, right? I mean, the Bible says, seek ye first the kingdom, right? And then all these things will be added, So, but rather it was all these things, that I was going after, right? And then, putting the kingdom inside of there. Right. So it really took us, to a place where really check yourself, change the order, I think I posted on my Instagram, it was like, God tell me, bro, check the order, fam. Right. Check the order, right? The order wrong.
Yeah.
Check the order. So, we had to really put God first, and then let God lead, in every other aspect. All right. So one of those was first the financial aspect. Right. And then, I know Danice could probably share on the other end. Yeah, one of our most recent challenges.
Yeah. Because here's the thing. One of the most difficult truths that I had to accept about being a Christian is that Christians will have to suffer some things. The Bible says...
I hear that word, by the way, but go ahead. Suffer and in the same sentence don't go right with me.
It's true. It's
keep
true.
going.
But the Bible says to take up your crosses and follow me. And as if you're not a Christian, you're gonna suffer some things. As a Christian, you got some backative when life starts to happen. And last year, 2025, was one of the hardest years business-wise, in terms of just staffing, structuring, all the things. It was pretty difficult, which was interesting because the salon literally just celebrated 12 years to our 12th anniversary. So in my mind, 11 should not have been so difficult, but it was. And around summer or so of last year, everything started to mellow out. It was just good. And then the most random Monday night in September, when I tell you random, I was just going to the bathroom, and in my mind I was like, let me take a pregnancy test. Girl, just random, Megghan. So I took the test, and I was just sitting on the toilet. I'm like, let me just stick this in the cup. And I took a pregnancy test and an ovulation test.
I didn't know they got ovulation tests.
Yeah, ovulation strips.
Okay.
Yeah. So I put both in the cup at the same time. On Instagram, sitting on the toilet is heaven. On Instagram, and I looked at both tests, and both of the strips had 2 lines.
Oh God.
And I'm like,
pregnant.
No, that wasn't even my thought.
Okay.
I'm like, one of these expired.
Okay.
Because this is not supposed to happen.
Yeah.
If one is ovulating, you can't be ovulating pregnant. Interesting stuff. So I looked at it and I'm like, okay. So I took a picture of it and I sent it to my friend. She's a doctor. And she responded with like party faces. And she was like, you're pregnant. And I am like, I'm not. I don't know why my brain was not computing. It just did not make sense. And I was not excited. I was not sad. It was not nothing. I was just confused because all I was holding on to is that these 2 strips saying the same thing.
And that don't make sense.
Logically, it does not make any sense.
Yeah.
So Khai was doing the training, and as soon as the training finished, I went into the office and I showed him the picture. So Khai was like, you pregnant?
You didn't even bring the excitement. You just showed me the picture.
Just enough.
I was just confused. And I think my cycle had just ended.
Oh, I see. That makes sense.
Too.
Yeah. Okay, got you.
Same mash up. It expired. So I showed him the picture and he was like, you pregnant? Because I was just very chill, like cool. So he didn't have a reason to be excited because I was like, okay. So I said, well, I am not sure, but this is what this is saying. So I messaged my friend. She told me to, in the morning, go and get this particular test, pregnancy test. So I went to sleep. I was still not excited. I had no feelings. I was just very normal. But in the morning, I woke up and I was like, oh my gosh.
Oh, so feeling it.
So we woke up. Khai had to take me to work, but we had to go purchase this particular test because I did not have that at home. So we went, and obviously you need urine.
Yeah.
I passed water so much before I got to take the test because I was nervous. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to have enough to take the test.
Yeah.
And it was just enough. And Khai dropped me off. He stayed in the car because if he came into the salon, that would be like odd. So he stayed in the car. I was on FaceTime. I ran into the bathroom, took the test. And this was the longest 5 minutes in my entire life. And as soon as I was going to I was like, okay, I'm gonna put it up and check it later in the day. And as soon as I took it to put it back in the box, 2 lines.
Oh my God, it was real.
I am like, what on earth? This ain't cutting on FaceTime, all the things. No, I gotta go and work. Normal, like I compose myself.
For that secret and everything.
Oh my gosh. So that was
September.
late September. And then October the 1st, gone to the doctor, called my doctor, was like, I need to get in now. She was like, there's 6 weeks. I didn't know, ma'am. I need an appointment as soon as possible. So we went to the doctor, all the things. But it was too early to see anything. But we did the state definitely pregnant. And about a week after, I started to bleed. So, you know, all the Googling and stuff, it's fine, implantation, bleeding, da-da-da-da. And I was like, okay, this is where it's like, all right, God. One of the first thoughts in my mind when I realized that I was pregnant was not even, oh my gosh, we're going to have a baby. It was, this year has been so hard for so many people. This news is going to be so amazing for so many people. And that's where my mind went to. Like, this is going to be amazing for a lot of people, not just Khai and I. And so that kept me very excited. My mom, everybody is going to be very ecstatic. So the bleeding, I was like, okay, it's implantation bleeding. That's what they said. Like, I prayed so much. Not out of fear, but it was like, thank you, Lord, thank you, Lord, thank you, Lord. Like, this is what we've wanted. And the bleeding stopped. And then coming into the following week, it started back, but it was heavy. No pain, but it was heavy, heavier than normal. So we scheduled an appointment with the doctor. So we had to do some labs and different things like that. So we went to the doctor, we did the labs, and we had to go back to the doctor to get the results from the labs. So we went into the doctor. He was all calm. He saw the results. So the numbers are supposed to double within 48 hours, and the numbers were high. So he was expecting that when he's going to do this ultrasound, he's going to see a fetus. Because he's going based on these numbers. So Khai was in the room, I was on the bed.
It was like 164.
Yeah, it was 6,400. The first one was 40 something hundred, and then the next one was 60 something hundred. And this is only like a few weeks in, so that was promising numbers. So when he did the ultrasound, I saw his face went like...
Your doctor?
Yeah. His face went like almost drawn. So Khai and I, we said nothing. So he went like, So then he's doing his stuff because we can see the screen. He's doing his stuff. Then he was like, Then he went to like the left ovary. So he's like almost searching. He went to the left ovary. He saw nothing. So in my uterus, which would be straight up, saw nothing. Went to the left ovary, saw nothing. Went to the right, saw nothing. But I guess he was persistent because he was like, a pregnancy is in your body for sure. Where is it? So, because it's not showing on the screen. So then he went to the right some more. And as he continued to look on the screen, he saw the pregnancy, but it was still in my
your right ovary.
Yeah, in my ovary.
Fallopian tube.
Yeah, on the right side. So immediately our world stopped. And he's like, get dressed, go outside, have a seat. We're gonna do this. He pulled out his phone, went and watched the doctor, called somebody. Then he went out to the room. Khai went outside. I sat down. When I tell you it was mute, like nothing came out of my mouth. And he was like, he called somebody, somebody's with her, da-da-da-da. Khai. So when he came back, Khai said, stop. What is happening?
He told the doctor that?
Yeah. Because I was mute. Like nothing was coming out. So then when he said that, the doctor was like, okay, da-da-da, this is what's happening, et cetera, et cetera. So we were leaving, and to be quite honest, Megghan, if Khai went left, I went left. He went right, I went right. I was just following this man, and will for the rest of my life, for sure. Off of a cliff if I need to, but I will follow this man. And we got into the car. We broke down. Like,
what did the doctor say?
He basically said it was ectopic. And at that time, that was the first time I heard the word. So I'm like, what does this even mean? So we're learning and finding out and all the things at the same time. So we got into the car, we broke down.
And it was like, don't go home.
Yeah, don't go home.
Straight to the hospital.
Straight to the hospital.
Yeah, because that could kill you.
And the thing is, the time frame for rupturing was around 6 weeks. I was 5 weeks and 4 days.
Oh my God, Danice.
Yeah. And
Wow.
he was like, do not go home.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
Thank you. We went to the hospital. I mean, support. I think that one of the reasons that I really brought down was
Trying not to cry. So yeah.
one
I
of the
just
reasons
I was like, don't cry, don't
that
cry.
I brought down is the amount of people that came in such a short space of time. No words. So when we went, when I went into the first, when I got to the hospital,
Yeah. All right, let's keep talking.
when I went to the, when I got to the hospital,
Don't cry, don't cry.
don't cry. No, right. I choked for like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
I got it. When we went to the hospital, the lady that did the first assessment, she looked at me and she said, so I had to give her an account of everything just for her to be sure that I was aware of what's happening. And then she asked me, did you want it? And I broke down. And the thing is, when she asked me that question, Khai was not there. My mom was not there.
It was just you.
It was just me in the room.
Decision.
And because the thing is, how I answered the question determined how they treated the topic. So if you did not want a baby or you don't want children or something like that, they would have used a different form of treatment.
Right.
But if you do, they
Something more aggressive.
yes, they changed the course of treatment.
Okay.
And when she asked that question, and I broke down, in that breaking, I knew that God was with me. No other physical person was in the room, but I felt comforted. Not comforted enough to be strong, because I'm like, I can't be strong right now. But I know at some point I will be, because God is with me. And if there is no other time in my life that I can pinpoint his presence, it was when I said yes. I wanted that child. And I went through the treatment. I remember the Wednesday morning, because now I left home to go to work. And I'm ending the day in the hospital.
Wow.
And
Without a baby.
And the thing is, at that time, only Khai knew and my mom knew. So every person that I was excited for them to hear this news, they're finding out the same time that I was pregnant.
Wow.
At the same time. And that became hard for me too, because this is our baby at this point.
And you had that build up of excitement to tell everybody that this was going to be
like
the end of the year, making it the best part of the year.
I already had onesies ordered.
Girl, whoa.
Printed.
printed. Yeah, I printed onesies to like give out to everybody, like
To surprise them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my mom got hers. I had onesies printed. I had a Christmas pajama ordered, so that would be my surprise like situation. Like, you know how my brain works.
I know.
We down the road already.
I don't know,
So,
girl.
like, all of that, nothing. And the Tuesday. That was a Tuesday night. I cried. I didn't want to be in the hospital by myself. The Wednesday is when the medication was administered. And that day, I remember just crying. Just crying. And there was a song, Naomi Rain, The Hour is Dark. But this is a story that I will tell. And I made a conscious decision that I'm going to heal first, obviously. And I'm going to tell the story. And as a Christian, we suffer some things, because that's true. But in the suffering, we do know that God is going to remember. And I went on Google and I Googled all of the women that had infertility issues in the Bible. And
Like Ruth.
Ruth, Hannah, Elizabeth, Leah, the Shunamite woman, all these people had infertility issues. And in the scripture, every last woman, and it finished by saying, and he remembered. Because every single woman that had infertility issues in the Bible got a child. So I'm like, I'm going to hold on to that. And I remember when they gave my testimony, they called the list of all the women and they added my name at the end. He will remember. He's not going to forget. So that comforts me. Does it still hurt? Did I still fall to my knees several times? Yes. Yes, I did. I did. But he will remember. So that's what I choose to hold on to. And that's why I get not excited. It's not excitement in telling a story like that. But why I choose to share the story from a hope perspective, because I'm not sharing it from this is what happened and now I have the child. I don't have the child. Every month there's still a wait and see. So now I can tell a woman to have faith while I'm practicing that wait. Yeah. And it's almost easy to tell the story after it's done.
I just want to thank you for sharing that. I am emotional because I didn't know.
Yeah.
And also because I know you for so long and I know how you carry emotion. So in my mind, I could be like, I could see 10-year-old Danice that always playing with children, you know, how she feels about children and stuff like that. But, you know, you will be back on the podcast with your baby.
Of course, in Jesus' name.
Yes. And thank you so much for sharing that, because I don't know the specific percentage of people that experience infertility issues at a young age, because they think that 50-year-old, 40-year-old, 60-year people only experience that. But I know I have friends in their 20s that have miscarriages. So it's so important to share the message and let people know that they're not alone. And as a partner, I would love for you too to explain, how did you hold her? Because she literally said it. She was quiet and you led it in that. Where did the leader and the strength come out from you in that situation?
Yeah, I think it was more of a case of, like, I can't be breaking down too, you know what I mean? And Danny's breaking down. You know, it was like, nah, you got to keep it together, at least in this moment, you know? But, I mean, that was difficult too, right? But it was like, you gotta keep strong, because I was more, my consciousness is more, like, I'm more concerned about Danice than anything else, right? So, like, I was more concerned about her well-being. I was more concerned about, you know, her emotions, you know, the way that she was taking this and so forth. That was my thought process first, right? To be quite honest, you know, the actual pregnancy and everything, like, that was very secondary for me, right? So I was more concerned about Danice, yeah. So it was just more of a case of, you know, like, I gotta lead, you know, like, you gotta guide and direct still in this time, you know, obviously being led by God as well, right? But I still gotta lead her ship, you know, as well. So, you know, that was very it was testing as well. I think one of the biggest challenges for any man, you know, the biggest leadership challenge for any man is get married, you know, and get married, because no, it's not self anymore. You know, you got to think more about your partner, you know, before anything else. You know, I think that was a big one.
And the initial question that I asked to get to this point now was, how did you hold God at the center of your relationship?
Yeah.
During that time, because it's just so very fresh. That's like 5 months ago, 5-6 months. How did you lean on the presence of God in that situation? And did you get closer to God as a couple? Because you speak about financial intimacy, but what about the intimacy with God in your relationship? What did that look like?
Yeah, 100%. You know, like, that dependency for sure on God, you know, was definitely heightened, you know, significantly. You know, I think that's that area of prayer and so forth as well. You know, just really seeking God, you know, first. And like we always tell Danice, you know, everything in God's time. You know, everything in God's time. Like, we can't determine, you know, when that time is gonna be, you know, but we gotta leave it in the hands of the Lord, you know, and our faith, you know, obviously again, heightened, because of this situation, so really just seeking God, man. Like, I don't know how much more to explain that, but it's just really just, putting your focus on Him. And like you said, like just building, more of an intimate relationship with God. That's definitely what it was all about.
Yeah, it is one thing to be, because you would always hear about women who pray. And I literally just finished a book about 10 women in the Bible who pray. And I'm going to call on the name of Jesus with this swiftness. But in moments like that, like I mentioned, marriage really tests leadership for men. And in that time frame, my prayers were so short because I didn't know what to say. So it is fine to be financially well in a relationship and all of that.
You could travel wherever you want.
Travel,
you could do all these
you
things.
can do all the things.
But you don't
And
have
we
the thing.
love traveling and all the good things. But as a woman and as a wife, having a husband who knows how to pray, the first night that I spent in the hospital, my pillow was soaked, not from sweat. Like, I did not know I could cry so much. And you know me, I'm not a crier.
I know.
I cried so much. And I either called or I sent a message, or I think I called. And no words were coming out. I was just crying. I remember clearly saying, I want to come home. And he was like, you can't come home right now. Logical. And I was just like crying. And he just prayed. I said nothing. I was just crying. We put it on the phone. He sent me a voice note, praying. The next day, a voice note, praying. Like, he had to, I guess had to, but he took up that mantle. And if I did not have a husband who can seek God on my behalf, I don't know.
You don't know what you would do.
I don't know, to be honest. I mean, there's family, there's my mom and all the things, but I'm married to him. And this is our situation right now. So all the finance and all the things, good. But a husband who can pray,
Yeah.
my husband had my back in that regard. For sure.
Y'all, this is deep.
It is.
This is deep, and I know it will touch at least one person. I want to bring it up a little bit, dry my own tears. Cause y'all coming here got me crying.
Sorry.
You're already a block too.
Already wear black. Like, foreshadowing is crazy.
So sorry.
But we watch you guys on social media, like traveling the world and going to big conferences and bringing along y'all friends like Tammy and other friends to see how you can grow yourselves. You just personal development.
Yeah.
As a couple, what do you want to tell other couples, not even couples, single people, anybody out there that just wants to grow their careers together? What do you do? What's the next step to get there? Both y'all look at each other.
Like, I think that is important and I love talking to young girls. You have to. I literally had a session at Allen School for Women's Day, and I told them this is what I'm gonna say. Sounds huge, but it's really not that big. But having a vision for your life is so important.
Yeah.
As an individual, as a couple, as a unit, as a whatever, having a vision, because I am married does not mean that Danice no longer has a vision for Danice. I am blessed enough that my vision can be a subvision to my husband's vision, because his is so great and he follows God, so I'm gonna follow him. So because he has a vision that encompasses mine, makes my vision continue to come to life. So having a vision for yourself, that's where it starts. And then, okay, what am I good at? What can I do? The Bible says that your gifts will make room for you. So what am I good at? What can I do? What am I passionate about? What can I be consistent at? Once you can answer those questions, those very basic questions, because we do things every single day. In 2026, what you are doing now as a podcaster, that was not on anybody's radar 10 years ago. But no, I know that I can speak well, I can carry a message, all these different things. That gift will make room for you. So podcasting was not on your radar, but because you had a vision for yourself and you knew you're gonna carry a message and you're gonna do well and all these things, because what speaking is a gift, here, this is where you are. I used to plait Barbies here. I have a vision for my life. My vision is that I'm gonna impact people and I'm gonna be wealthy and all these different things. I'm a hairstylist. I'm natural at doing hair. I can do hair really well. My background is in business. But guess what? I still get to impact people because that's the vision. Because women have to sit in my chair every single day. Yeah. So Khai is really good at money and finances. He's trades internationally. The entire world listens to this man 3 days a week. That's a gift. Making room. 10 years ago, nobody was talking about Forex or anything like that, like on a mainstream. But now they have to because somebody was consistent enough or passionate enough or have enough belief to say, you know what, this is my gift and it's going to make room for me and the whole world has to listen. And that's what he does now. So yeah, having a vision is very important.
That's good.
Yeah, I think relationship, you look at the word relationship, ships are designed to take you somewhere, right? So I think what's important is the relationships that you have in your life.
Wait, hold up. Come on.
It's mommy and mommy and mommy.
I love it. I mean, what? Relationship shit's supposed to take.
Oh, for sure.
I'm stealing that. I'm saying that I came up with it. Okay.
That's all yours.
Okay.
Right?
I love that.
Yeah, so that's what it's all about, So you first got to think about like who's on your ship, who are you aligning yourself with, so like who's taking me somewhere. There's either some individuals that are going to be there to try to either hold you back, or there's some persons that are going to take you somewhere, right?
Yeah.
So the relationships that you keep is going to be very important, for your life, yeah? So not just, intimate relationships, but, who is leading you, right? Again, we look at the word leadership. Who's leading you, who's the voice that you're listening to. Right? All these things, play a key role in where your life goes as well. First, our first relationship has to be between you and God.
Yeah.
All right. Because God like Danny said, has the vision, for your life. Yeah. God wants the best, for you, so you got to first submit to that vision, and then out of that, he will direct your path, literally, so it's really start like this and then like this, right? So you start like this, you're going to get the right relationships like this, so you connect with individuals. This is the partner that we got to play, because sometimes a lot of us, we don't want to be participants in our own miracles, like we just want, like, just do like this, God, you take care of it, and we just sit down and chill.
No, I don't work like that.
Don't work like
Still
that.
got plenty of work.
You gotta get up and do it, right? You gotta get up and go after it. So, just being very intentional about the relationships, the company, etc., that you keep in your life.
Listen, y'all, this is so good. This is more than I expected. And when I asked you about this, I honestly came from a space of, we had a friendship and you went into a relationship, and I watched from afar your relationship grow, and I think that it was like you said, is my thing to share stories, and I think that yours is a good one, not knowing that you had all this ammunition to share. So I'm gonna go to the final question I asked everybody, and you can think about this and be intentional about the answer. What is one thing, tangible or intangible, that you would love to give to your partner that will make their life easier?
Whoa, you're going. This is a deep question here. One thing that you would give to your partner,
tangible or intangible, that will make their life easier.
Wow.
Easier.
Wow.
The first thing that came to my mind is very funny.
Tell me the first thing, and then tell me the serious thing.
But I think it's so serious.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. To articulate it.
You Y'all still thinking?
Yeah, this is
It is hard.
this is a
So,
tough question.
so this is what came to my mind first. So I'm just gonna run with it.
Yeah, say
but
whatever.
as I answer, I'm gonna articulate it better. So I think one thing that I would give to Khai
Mm-hmm.
to make his life easier
Mm-hmm.
is me. But hold on.
Oh.
Hold on. Hold on.
As you said.
Oh, but listen.
What game got you already?
No, but listen. Hear me out.
Okay.
The best version that I could be. Because and for as many years as God would allow. Because
Also, you giving yourself.
I'm
You
giving
the best
him
self.
my best self.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
Okay. See it.
the solution is to make his life easier, right? So that's like the question is what I would give him to make his life easier. So I would give him my best self for as many years as we possibly can, because when I
That was kind of deep.
right, so that's why I said it was funny first.
Yes.
But then it got serious
It's
because
very deep.
it's like my best self will carry his children. My best self would be his help with all the visions he has. My best self would curate the best home and environment for our family to flourish. My best self would pray him through whatever
And I just
is happening.
you just say your best self will carry his children. I just want you to know that with a child or without, it's still your best self. I
Agreed.
just want to put that there.
Agreed fully, because God's will be done.
Yes.
For sure.
Yeah.
But why I mentioned that is because when I close my eyes, that's what I see. Yeah. So again, God's will be done. But less than children be any will. So me, full stop.
Yes.
But with all that context behind it.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I didn't get that from any of the other ladies yet. They didn't say that.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, that one put a little pressure on me, you know, right? Because I was like, that answer, that's a whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa, you got me here. Okay.
Give me your answer.
I'm still thinking at this
tangible
point.
or
You know, like,
intangible. So Dani's got
I don't-
everything she needs.
yeah, now Dani's yeah, she's not like a tangible individual like that.
Could be intangible too, you know.
Yeah, that's the biggest part, no, that I'm really thinking about, right? Because you said what could I give her to make her life easier?
I mean, she's a hardworking hairdresser.
Yeah, this one is tough. I think it just feels shallow, you know what I mean?
The question?
No, the response.
The answer, okay.
So I said, like, she can put some pressure on me, right?
Yeah.
Her response, right? But I think because and you just said it, because she works, so hard, right? I remember I said, before we got married, if it's one person I know that works harder than me, is Danice. All right? And I was a little concerned about that too.
She's always like that too.
was
So
glad,
nothing could
but-
change.
I was glad, but I was a little concerned at the same time, right? But I think that one thing would be for her to be able to completely let go of the when I said let go of the salon, not shut it down, but put herself in a place where she could like not have to be hands on.
To let it run on its own.
Correct. Yeah.
So
I think
time.
yeah, it's a time.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, some
That's it.
time.
You want to give that to me? I'll take it.
Y'all, whew, today was a long podcasting day for me, but I feel like I'm so happy we ended with this. And I'm so happy we did because y'all are still a very young couple in terms of marriage.
Yeah.
And it seems as though you've been faced with trials
Yeah.
and also the really, really highs, but experiencing a really good life together. And what I took away from this obviously is financial intimacy, which is very sexy, but also leaning on God.
Yeah.
I don't think that y'all have been fully out of what you're going through, but being able to be strong enough to share the experience and share your testimony shows that there's a good foundation in your relationship.
Yeah.
And I just want to say thank you to
you
both
for
of you.
having us.
You're so blessed, and I wish you so much in this beautiful marriage.
Thank
And there's gonna be so much more abundance coming to you.
Absolutely. Receive that.
Thank you for coming to Kiss and Tell.
Thank
And I hope to see you back. I know you'll be back.
Yes.
And I cannot wait for you viewers to see and listen to this amazing episode. Thank you.